Hi guys, here we are again. So we've got a new question today. ¿Cómo era tu relación con tus amigos antes? What was your relationship like with your friends before? So we're going to be revising the imperfect tense and more specifically through reading. Before we do any of that, let's revise the use of ser and estar because this is going to be important to describe your relationships with people. Remember, ser is permanent and estar is temporary. So read sentences 1, 2, and 3 before deciding on the correct form of ser and estar, that is to go in the gaps. Give yourself about 5 minutes to do this and come back for the answers. Okay, so mis padres son honestos y siempre están felices. The reason why we've chosen these two at the bottom is because we're saying my parents, they are honest and always are happy. Number 2, mi abuela es de España, pero ahora está en Londres. So my grandmother is from Spain. We're talking about nationality, but now she is in London. So this is talking about where she lives now, but she is originally from Spain. Number 3, mi hermana y yo estamos de vacaciones y es genial. This one's a slightly trickier one because my sister and I, we are on holiday. This is a set phrase, estar de vacaciones, to be on holiday. So location. And it is great. You might be thinking I put son here because of vacaciones, or I also put somos because we were talking about people here. You would be right to think that we are looking at vacaciones, and you would be right in thinking it's plural because it's es, but it's a slightly weird one, this one. So vacaciones is always referred to in the singular feminine form. Okay. Feel free to pause the video. You've got a couple of notes about the use of the imperfect, and you can make notes of these in your exercise book or on the worksheet given to you. Okay guys, so hopefully you have made a note of the grammar on the previous slides and when the imperfect tense is used. What I would like you to do now is to fill in the gaps of these sentences A to J in Spanish. You have here in the green box the verb endings for the imperfect tense. So remember, when we have an infinitive and it ends in AR, we remove that and we add aba, abas, aba, abamos, abais, aban. And if it ends in IR or ER, we add ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian, with the accent on the I and just one accent here on the A. Let's look at A. Yo something cada verano en el mar. This is the infinitive that you are going to need to change. This is the translation. I used to swim every summer in the sea. So we are going to remove AR. We're going to go to our list at the top. Yo, because that's I. Aba, so nadaba. That is going to be our first answer. See if you can do the rest for me. If you think you can do it without your notes and you're feeling pretty confident, put them away and just use the screen to help you. Okay, so hopefully we have our answers ready to go. For B, Maria always used to speak French well. Hablaba, because we remove AR and we add aba. C, nosotros, we used to visit our grandparents on Fridays. Visitábamos. D, we were talking about they, esquiaban They used to ski every winter. Cantar, I was singing or I used to sing. Cantaba. Tú siempre, something con nosotros. Salíes, because it's tú, it's singular, you singular, not plural. G, nosotros tomábamos, we used to have a lot of coffee. Ella cenaba en un restaurante todos los viernes. Yo siempre echaba demasiado azúcar en el café. This is a really great noun to be using. It's quite colloquial and it's used very often in Spain. And J, Carlos siempre leía novelas. Carlos always used to read novels. Brilliant, guys. So you have now got some phrases in the imperfect tense, and I would like you to translate them into English. Remember our translation structure. You are reading it first of all before you do anything else. You are then picking out the vocabulary so that you can work out the context of it. You look for the verbs so you can decide who's talking, any time phrases in case it signals a change in the tense, and then you can put it all together. Give yourself 5 to 10 minutes for this task. Okay, so hopefully you had these as your answers. And I'm just going to explain a couple of bits whilst we go through them. So when I was young, cuando era pequeña, really great phrase to have. If you were a boy, that would just change to pequeño. Me llevaba fatal con mi hermana. Instead of just saying mal, they have really emphasized the fact that they did not get on well with their sister. Now, signaling a present tense coming up. So ahora, we get on really well. Number 2, signaling past tense, antes, before, time phrase. I used to be a very selfish person. Or you could say I was a selfish person because you're describing something that happened over a period of time. Because I didn't share anything. However, I have changed a lot. This is our perfect tense. He to be I have, and then cambiado is our past participle to say changed. Now that we know that we see a change coming up, it's going to be in present tense for the rest. In the past, my mum would give me lots of advice and she supported me a lot. But now she works too much and we don't talk a lot, or we don't speak too much. Sounds quite sad, that last sentence, but that's what we have translated. Okay, you've got 2 texts. You may or may not have seen these before in class. Don't worry if you have. So you have got to underline the verbs in the imperfect tense in both texts. Number 2, you've got to translate the words in bold. So here we've got hace 4 años, cuando él estaba de vacaciones, tenemos el deporte en común. I will then show you the answers for text 1 and then text 2. Give yourself about 10 to 12 minutes for this one. So 5-6 minutes on one text and then the same on the second. Okay, so the answers for Santi and John. This was the first text. Imperfect verbs were él estaba, hacíamos, comíamos, jugábamos. So he was, we used to do, we used to eat, we used to play. And the words in bold were as follows. So hace 4 años. Really great phrase here. And you could always chop out años for días or semanas to say 4 days ago or 4 weeks ago. Next one, cuando él estaba de vacaciones, when he was on holiday. Tenemos el deporte en común, we have sport in common. Es una gran persona, he is a great person. Aunque, although. Alguien que te conoce bien y nunca te juzga. Someone who knows you well and never judges you. So this is talking about friends here. Tom and Kiara, This was the second text, and the answers are as follows. Tenía for he or she has, and viajábamos for we would travel or we used to travel. There were a lot of things to be working out in this text for the words in bold, so let's have a look. Cuando tenía 10 años, when I was 10 years old. Remember, when we refer to age, we talk about having those amount of years. So this would be when I used to have 10 years of age. That would be very literal. We became friends. Nos hicimos amigos. Got a reflexive verb here, nos, reflexive pronoun. Luego nos casamos. We are, again, with a reflexive verb because they did the action together to each other. So, luego nos casamos. Desde el principio, from the start. Como persona, as a person. Nos llevamos como el perro y el gato. This is an idiomatic phrase here, so we are saying something with a hidden meaning. So they say we get on like cats and dogs, or dog and cat. She is the love of my life. How sweet. Juntos, together. Un buen amigo es alguien que te quiere mucho y te ayuda en todo. A good friend is someone who loves you and helps you in everything. Okay, you've got to go back to the text now, so feel free to rewind the video and pause, and you've got to read the text and fill the table in Spanish. You can do this in bullet point form or in full sentences. I suggest you read the questions first and then you pick that out for each person. So question number 1. When did he or she meet his or her best friend? Number 2, where? Number 3, what do they have in common? So you're going to be looking for something in the present tense here. Past tense, present tense. Present tense again here for how do they get on? ¿Cómo se llevan? So it would be se llevan como, they get on like, or se llevan bien. Describing their personality here, and then asking for your opinion. Sorry, not your opinion, their opinion. So the last phrase, you'll be looking at the bottom of the text. Okay, I'll be looking at these answers so I can see how your writing's getting on. But just proofread what you've done. Conoció a su mejor amigo hace 4 años. He met his best friend 4 years ago. And this is what else you should have written. Don't worry if you were confused. I will be looking at your answers to make sure. And then we've got Tom's answers here. Tom is talking about his wife, Kiara, so make sure that number 5, you've got the correct agreements in your adjectives. Okay, this is the last task, and you have got some idioms in Spanish in the orange box here, and you have got to match them to their Spanish definition in the green box. If you are a bit confused about any of the vocabulary, I suggest you go onto wordreference.com so you can pick out what oveja negra might mean. I'll give you a clue. This is to be the black sheep. So if you think of the nursery rhyme, bar bar black sheep, that might give you a clue as to what it could match up with. You've got a lot of adjectives here to help you work them out. And I will mark these to check your understanding. Your challenge is to translate what they mean into English. So match to green, then translate to English. Gracias, chicos. Adiós.